Beagle Eye Visions. It has been a decent month, a very interesting month. Orange Racist Turd is causing more destruction, and his racist turd followers are following in glory. But that's not what we're here to talk about this month. We're here to talk about a brand new book. It's a new month. It's the first of the month. I love W. So, this month's book is The Boxes by William Cedar. William Cedar. So shout out to William Cedar. Shout out to the author, William Cedar. Amazing, phenomenal writer. And this is the only book that I've read by William Cedar. I should have done more research on this guy because it seems like he just writes phenomenally. He has multiple books. This is not his only book. When I read The Boxes when I was in middle school, and I was in John Young, just like the Samurai series with written by Thomas and Dorothy Hubler, that I've already done 2 books of that series. I should order the 3rd book. But I'm very excited. Also very tired. I closed the cafe. I've been closing the cafe like all week. But I do have tomorrow off. And at the time of this recording, it is 11:35 on Friday, July 17th. But as far as you know, it's the first of the month. And it is not... Well, we don't know what time of day it is. It doesn't matter because it's the first of the month, and we're here at Beagle Eye Visions with a brand new book review. Oh, I hate being tired. All right, I hope everything sounds good. Shout out to WAUS.org. This is Michiana Classics Music Through the Night. The WAUS 90.7 FM. And since I didn't get slapped with copyright on the last video, I'm just going to crank it. I'm going to keep it cranked because classical music is phenomenal. And it is also great when you're reading a book, put on some classical music with no lyrics. Like, put on WAUS. It's so good. It's very peaceful. I have my local McDonald's. When you go eat at this local McDonald's, they play classical music or like really soft, peaceful music, like Oriental music. It's actually really nice. I love going and eating in that McDonald's restaurant. But anyways, The Boxes by William Cedar. I'll turn that down a little bit. People gotta eat. I'm in the kitchen, so I gotta get this over with. I gotta push through it. So welcome back. Welcome back to Beagle Eye Visions. This is the first of the month. It is not July. 1st of August. It is the 1st of August. Thank you for tuning in to Beagle Eye Visions. Let's get into the notes. I don't have much to talk about. This is only a 200-page book, and I stopped at the notes, and I'm already getting ahead of myself. I'll talk about that in the notes. So, thank you for choosing Beagle Eye Visions for your entertainment. Let's get into the boxes. Okay. What could it hurt to take just one teeny peek? When Uncle Marco goes on one of his frequent mysterious trips, he leaves Annie in charge of 2 exotic, sealed boxes on one condition. She must not open either one while he's away. But as time passes, Annie can think of virtually nothing else, even with all of her other problems at home and school. Worst of all, the evil Crutchley Development Company is trying to buy the family house out from under them. Surely, life couldn't get much worse. If she were to take a little glimpse inside one of the tempting boxes, like a modern-day Pandora, Annie does just that, unleashing the unspeakable as incredibly grotesque, crab-like creatures scuttles out and disappears into the basement shadows. In the following days, the creature is not multiplied, but has begun constructing a highly sophisticated palace. Would opening the other box make the creatures disappear? This intricately plotted sci-fi tale of masterful twists takes on the human psyche as well as the very nature of time itself, bringing fans on a suspenseful journey they'll never forget. super author William Sleater again demonstrates his exceptional talent for providing thrills and providing thought with every book. And yeah, no, I gotta say, I do have to read William's little paragraph. William Sleater is the best-selling author of The Beasties, The Night the Heads Came, Interstellar Pig, and many other popular chilling novels. Hailed by R.L. Stine. Hey! Another shout out. R.L. Stine is phenomenal. Hailed by R.L. Stine as one of my favorite young adult writers, Mr. Sleater divides his time between homes in Boston, Massachusetts, and rural Thailand. Wow, he sounds like Uncle Marco himself. This book was published by Dutton Children's Books, a member of Penguin Putnam Incorporated, 375 Hudson Street, New York, New York, 10014. So this book is phenomenal, and not to mention the hardcover says in this book it says $15.99, but you could probably see it. It's this copy of the book has some library, stickers. It's got a sci-fi sticker on the spine right here. So it's been through some stuff. It even says Galloway School Library, which is Wyuka Road, NW is Northwest, Atlanta, Georgia. So this book was in the library. Hopefully this book was possessed by some other, there's like where you slip the library slip, so you know when your book needs to be returned. A lot of people don't know that because a lot of people are dumb and don't freaking read books nowadays. I mean, what the fluff? But before I get myself too fired up, I probably should get to the notes. But it's so cool. Like the first time I read this book, it had a little piece of slip like that where I got from the school library. I got it from the school library, and then they stamp it, and then when the book needs to be returned. And I just thought it was so cool that how I got this book from a school library the first time I read it. Now it says Atlanta, Georgia. It's got Atlanta, Georgia, Galloway School Library stamps all over it, and I just love that. I think it adds more character to the book. And not to mention, since I use Bing as a search engine, Microsoft Bing. Bing gives you points. You can earn enough points. It's like 5,000 points, 6,000 points. You can earn enough. I think it's 5,000. Pretty sure it's 5,000 because I'm about to earn another one. And you can earn enough points to get a $5 Amazon gift card. And that's what I did because I was looking up books. I was I don't scroll that often, or at least I do my best not to. We're all human. Everybody scrolls. But I was scrolling and shopping through books. I'm on the hunt for this book written by the singer of this band Spirit World, but that's a whole other rabbit hole. But I was scrolling through Amazon and I saw the picture of the boxes, and I was like, my mind was blown. I was like, that's one of the books that I read when I was a child in John Young Middle School. One of the first books that got me into books, literally. Treasure Island was. I mean, I've always loved books, but I think the book of Treasure Island really, like that. Oh, dude, I need to get a copy of that book and do a book review of it. Maybe this year. Maybe sometime this year if I can afford to get a book. But so, anyways, I only paid $1 for this book. I got a $5 gift card from Amazon through Bing, and then there was like shipping was like $3 or something like that, and then tax, of course, because we're all slaves. And anything that you pay for is inevitably taxed, just like your paycheck. But anyways, I got this book for $1, basically. Amazing. And if I didn't have that $5 gift card, this book would have been $6 and like 37 cents. It would have been $6 and some change. So I don't know why people aren't reading books. I mean, books they're cheap. They're dirt cheap. Sometimes, your book will have a few little Galloway, Atlanta, Georgia book school library stamps on it, but who cares? You're gonna get so many hours of entertainment out of this one book. This is a middle school book, and even though it's a middle school book, there are some very good words in there. There are some really good words where I still had to dive into my dictionary and flip through the pages of my dictionary because, I mean, the author is phenomenal. The book is cheap. I mean, we're in 2026 where GTA 6 is $100 for one video game that we haven't seen a single frame of gameplay. People are paying $100. Idiots! Freaking, just idiots! Why? Buy a book. You know, you don't have to download any updates. You don't have to like put a book into your computer or put a book into your PlayStation. It's not a DVD. You know, you can just open it and read it. Like, you don't need, I mean, you do need some light, right? You need some daylight, maybe some sunlight, but you can just open it and read it. It's phenomenal. Sorry, I don't understand why people aren't buying and reading books. It truly baffles me. I don't understand. Everybody's talking about Netflix and all how expensive all these stupid subscriptions. I'm so tired of I'm so freaking tired of subscriptions. AMC Movie Theater just got me for $15. And I need to cancel it, but AMC Movie Theater also charges you money to cancel their subscription. I'm going off on a rant. Back to the material. The Boxes by William Cedar. The characters. Our main character is 15-year-old Annie. Her Uncle Marco leaves her in charge of a set of boxes, and he says he can't store them at the bank or storage. Annie has to be the one to keep the boxes safe as he goes out of town. Chapter 1 instantly, let me get W in there. Chapter 1 instantly makes me think of H.P. Lovecraft. Shout out to H.P. Lovecraft. You gotta give credit to it. If H.P. Lovecraft was never stepped foot on this planet, this book would not exist. And I'm 100% positive of that fact. The author does a great job of enticing the reader, and it says that twice. Great job of enticing the reader and getting us interested in these boxes. This is also where we meet the character of Aunt Ruth, Uncle Marco's younger sister. Marco says that Annie is the only one he can trust, and what makes me trust Marco is a quote on page 4. Uncle Marco says, "They can't belong to anybody. They just have to be guarded. And I don't trust banks. All they care about is making money. How could you ever trust somebody like that? Ruth works in a bank." How could you ever trust somebody like that? All they ever want is money. Uncle Marco's a legend, dude. And he's right. How could you trust somebody like that? So Unc is clearly he's very eccentric. He reminds me of the main character of the film As Above, So Below. Phenomenal film. Unc always has a place to be, and he has to go right now. He's late. I gotta go. Like, I gotta get out of here. Same with, that's what I mean by the main character of As Above, So Below. It's like she's gotta be somewhere, and she's gotta go right now, and there's no time to hesitate. We gotta go. We gotta move. So, we discover that Annie has had childhood trauma, which is why she lives with her aunt and uncle in the family home. This home has been in the family for generations, and it sounds, again, I gotta give another shout out. It sounds like a classic H.P. Lovecraft story. H.P. Lovecraft vibes. It reminds me of why I really loved this book when I was a kid, when I was reading it in middle school. The author truly knows what he is doing when it comes to holding the intrigue and building tension, which is not an easy way to write. Trust me. If you don't believe me, try to write a short story, make it intriguing, make it so you're holding the intrigue, you're holding the reader's curiosity, and continue to build that tension. It's impossible. It's so hard to do. It is so hard to do, which is why I was so blown away by the back rooms. I knew that Kane Parsons was going to kill that shit. Oh, I almost dropped the S-bomb. I knew that Kane Parsons was going to kill it, and he did. The suspension of the back rooms is phenomenal. The writing is flawless, just like this book. Great at building tension, which is not an easy way to write. Keeping the reader or watcher, if you're watching TV or film, interested, holding curiosity is a tall task, and that's for a fact. Before chapter 1 closes, Ruth blows up on our two characters, talking about how hard she works, how hard she works. She threatens to cut off Uncle Marco's annuity, which, again, that's a term I've never heard before. I mean, I've read this book, but I'm an adult and I don't know what annuity is. What the hell is annuity? Sounds like weird bankster scams. I don't know. Threatened to cut off Uncle Marco's annuity. Ruth seems like a terrible person. She lives at the family's house and doesn't even pay the bills. Yeah, she complains about every little thing in the house. She has convinced me that she is a textbook narcissist, and we're only on chapter 1. And, you know, following the rest of the book, she is a textbook narcissist. Abso-freaking-lutely. Chapter 2. Annie goes to school and a boy named Henry. What a strong name. What a strong name Henry is. A boy named Henry tells her about a mysterious car that followed him home from school the other day. Henry's parents own the oldest house on the block, and of course it's one of the ones the bank wants to purchase to tear down to build a mall. They basically, the bank wants to tear down this whole entire neighborhood, and it's in like the historic. In my opinion, it doesn't mention it in the book, but in my opinion, it sounds like this neighborhood is in the historic district of the town, and they just want to, of course, destroy all these historic houses, relocate all these families that have, you know, familial houses. Like I said, this is a familial house. It's probably been in the family for multiple generations, and the banksters don't give a fuck. They want the land to tear down and rebuild a new dumb business to make more money. You know, of course, greedy corporations. If you want to hear more about corporations, tune into Crazy Life Stories on Spotify with Matt Bennett and Henry. With Matt Bennett and me. I don't know why it said. Why am I talking in third person? So there's a car that's following Henry. Henry's parents is the oldest house. The bottom, they want to build a mall. The block is located near the highway, so it would be a good location for a mall. Hearing the story begins to make Annie nervous, but her curiosity of the boxes continues to grow. Chapter 3 is when Uncle Marco leaves town on a cold, snowy January. Annie gets so curious that she goes to the basement to check out the wooden crate. She opens one of the boxes and spots this strange creature, the size of a mouse, runs somewhere in the basement. Freaking out, she closes the box and runs upstairs and makes a phone call to her friend, trying to be nonchalant in front of her aunt. In front of Auntie Pretentious Crybaby, Auntie whatever the hell, or Auntie Nihilist, let's call her Auntie Nihilist. So it's a really intense, I blew through that, but it's a really intense scene when she first discovers what's inside of the boxes. And then the next day, Annie has a very bizarre dream, or throughout the night, Annie has a very bizarre dream. That is her Uncle Marco telling her how to open the metal box in her bedroom. So that's my notes. I didn't do too many notes. It's gonna be a short and sweet book review. But like I said, I'm gonna re-review this book and talk about the occult aspects. There's a reason why I mentioned her trauma. You know, trauma is, I don't want to say important. Important seems like the wrong word, but trauma is a thing that, you know, a lot of people deal with, and a lot of people also at the same time don't deal with their traumas in any capacity. So that becomes a problem. So there's a reason why I mentioned some of the things that I did in this book review, like especially with Annie's parents and her familial. There is a lot of occult elements in this book, and it's I was actually shocked and impressed about how many occult elements there are but like I said, I feel like this is a very underrated book. People are not talking about this book as often as, you know, like when the topic of books comes up, you know, like what do people usually talk about? It's like the Holy Bible, Stephen King, you know, the Da Vinci Code, Treasure Island, and like that's about it. If people do read books, Stephen King is like top on that list for some reason. I don't know why. All he does is do drugs and write stories. Anybody could do that. But you know, But any Hoosers, that's, yeah. When you bring up the topic of books, a lot of people just talk about like those are the basics, like the basic white girl material of reading. It's like the Holy Bible and Stephen King is like everybody talks about that. Nobody, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I need to leave. I probably do need to leave the house more. Speaking of, tomorrow I am leaving the house. We're gonna go out to some pizza. Finally, the family is gonna have some pizza with me. I can't wait to break some bread. But anyways, that's the whole book review. People want to eat some food, so I better clean up, get the hell out of here. Phenomenal book, 10 out of 10, absolutely 10 out of 10. I probably say that about every single book that I've done on this channel, but it really is 10 out of 10. It's so good. You know, as an adult, it is kind of, you know, as an adult, there's some predictable elements, you know, like there are, yeah, I mean, yeah, as an adult, you kind of pick up on the foreshadowing. There's cues, context clues, you know, and you kind of see exactly where the book is going. But then by the end of this book is so freaking Lovecraft. It screams Lovecraft. It screams Howard Phillips Lovecraft. The end of this book is just like, what? I finished it last night after I closed the cafe. And the ending is just like, what the heck? Is there a sequel? There needs to be a sequel. I hope. Is there a sequel to this book? If not, there needs to be. And like, I don't understand. You know, Hollywood is running out of ideas. They made Moana, the anime, and then like 2 years later they made a live action Moana movie. Like, who are at the board at these tables? Who are at these meetings like, dude, yeah, we're gonna do Moana anime. How about Moana live action? Yeah, great idea. That'll print money. Send it. You know, let's get The Rock in there. We'll just do it, redo it, and like I just don't understand. Why isn't The Boxes a movie? And not that dumb, horrible movie with whatever her face it, not that dumb so-called scary movie called The Box. I'm talking about, why isn't The Boxes? Why hasn't this book turned into a feature film? It doesn't make any sense. A24. What do you, A24, pick up, have Kane Parsons do The Boxes in the next film. And then integrate Backrooms with The Boxes, you know, and like maybe do some crazy stuff. Like, I'm just throwing I'm throwing free ideas. I'm throwing gold out there. But anyways, it'd be so cool to have this as a movie. But anyways, I'm obviously very tired. I'm gonna turn this music up so I can stand up and hit the record button, which will stop the video, but I'm tired and my freaking back kind of hurts. So I'm just gonna turn up the music, and I guess we'll sit here together. Oh, if you want to support the channel, use code BeagleEyeVision at w.gg for 10% off your entire purchase. The next book, I have it in the bedroom. I do want to show you guys, but I don't. Like I said, I don't want to get up. The next book is going to be The Age of Reason by Thomas Paine. I'm very excited to do that book. It's very short and sweet. You know, just like this book. I think it's going to be about 200 pages. But with The Age of Reason by Thomas Paine, that will give me a reason to talk about morality, to try to inspire people to study morality, do the right thing because it is the right thing to do, and of course read more books. People are not reading enough books, and it is shameful. It is horrid how many books people are not reading. I mean, this is just bad. How many hours of screen time does your eyeballs need? I mean, it's just endless. It's endless. Read a book. Get some book time. Start recording your book time. Stop tracking your screen time. Stop tracking how many Snapchats you sent. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody cares if you sent 1,000 Snapchats or 100 Snapchats. Shit. I don't care if you send one Snapchat. Read a book. But anyways, phenomenal book, 10 out of 10. Go read a book! thumbnail there. Let's make that the thumbnail. That'd be a sick thumbnail, dude. That's a thumbnail right there. Give me that thumbnail. Alright, stay tuned. Stay gold, everybody.